the real big parts, though, because
let's get into the stuff that we're sure about.
You could tell that James Gunn was talking about all these movies so quickly, and he went on to finally say, we're moving on to our biggest stuff here, the things that I'm excited to talk about, the Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, which there is an animated movie for the DC universe on HBO Max that you could probably watch called Gods and Monsters. I haven't seen it, but I kind of want to now that I know the title of this.
I love that. Can I just say really quick? I love that they're naming these chapters. I love
too.
It's Gods and Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters.
I like that too. Like it really
a tone,
makes it personal.
Yeah.
Exactly. And again, a note from Gunn. These projects are a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire thing.
Right. Not even the whole chapter. Yeah.
From here until the end of this episode, everything we talk about is only a part of the first chapter, not the whole thing. So our first thing that James Gunn brought up was Creature Commandos. James Gunn says to us, it's an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something that we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation out of animation, usually having the same actors play their voice as who plays them in live action. Mm-hmm. So again, that's something we heard already in the beginning. But again, it's a good reminder that the animation stuff, if you're a main character in this show, it means you're going to be a main character in live action. So Good luck to you. Voice actors. But yeah, I think that is kind of crummy, because then I feel like, the DC universe has awesome animated films that they do that are very Elseworld related. So I really hope that James Gunn is okay with making Elseworld animated movies like the company has been doing.
Right.
Maybe they haven't all been the best, but they're way better than the Marvel movies that are animated.
For the most part, the DC animated fare has been probably more successful than the Marvel stuff in general.
Oh, yeah.
Historically, I'd say.
Definitely. Yeah. And so that's just something to keep in mind. But the thing that I really thought about when he announced this was, why hasn't he told us anything about this project? Like this is all he said about it. It's an animated series. I'm writing it. Actors are going to be in it and out of it. Live action animated. That's it. Moving on.
What more do you need?
I was like, but what are the Creature Commandos? Tell me what they are. He showed us a picture of a lot of like Frankenstein, werewolf kind of thing. And I was like, that's all you're going to give me? So I did some research. And
that's what he expects you to do. Well, Google it, Kevin.
That's why, but I Google it so that you listeners don't have to. So let me tell you what this is all about. This is just a quick little summary just to give you an idea of what these guys are. The Creature Commandos. They're a U.S. team of military superhumans originally set in World War II. They're sent out to fight Nazis and scare the hell out of them by transforming the team into horrifying warriors that resembled characters that you'd recognize from a dark universe. The team was composed of a human team leader, a werewolf, a vampire, a Frankenstein's monster, and a Gorgon. And then I wrote here in this little note, direct competition with Marvel's Dark Universe, because Marvel just started doing their Werewolf by Night stuff, and they're just going more into it with Agatha Harkness and other stuff like that. So this looks like it's a direct competition, and James Gunn knew what he was doing with this. However, maybe he didn't point that out because he didn't want to get on Kevin Feige's bad side right in the get-go,
It does make me curious, because I know Gods and Monsters is, it's a line, at the very least, I know it's a line from Bride of Frankenstein, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Professor Dr. Pretorius, he utters that line like, something about, we've begun a new age of gods and monsters. And so that is totally apropos, I guess, because we're talking about characters who basically you can rip them out of a Universal horror movie,
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Wolfman, whatever, Vamp, Dracula, whatever. So that's interesting that, this is the first project in the first chapter known as Gods and Monsters. We'll be getting these kinds of monster characters.
Weird. It's weird because I think that like when he says Gods and Monsters, I think of Halloween. And so I'm like, man, is the whole theme of this chapter Halloween? That's so interesting. It's a really cool name, but also I think of Halloween. And when I saw Werewolf by Night for Marvel, there was a part of me that was like, I just don't connect this with Marvel. Like, I don't see this as a Marvel thing. Like, I don't see Captain America and Thor anywhere. You know what I mean?
Is that good or? bad.
I don't know. And so when I see
I think
these,
it's fine. I think it's fine. I can separate it, but
I will
that's
say
interesting.
when I see the artwork for this one that he presented, it looks very DC, and so I'm like, okay, listen, you made Guardians of the Galaxy. If you've got a plan for this that's gonna make us all go whoa,
Yeah,
then I'm down to see it. I also read.
I'm trusting James Gunn. I'm willing to trust him with this.
Yeah, like I'm sure he's gonna come up with something if he's running all this stuff. But the other thing I was gonna say is I know I mentioned here in the note that it takes place originally in World War II, but I've also read online that it's being able to take place in different timelines as well. So it could be a creature commando of present day. And if we are connecting it with Blue Beetle, I'm assuming Blue Beetle is going to be a present day movie kind of thing. So it's safe to assume maybe that Creature Commandos could be present day as well.